as we're getting to the end portion of the game, we've obviously got the rest of the Euros. Copa America's going to start. Then more than likely we'll see footies. I think that's a pretty easy assumption. Maybe even a shapeshifters. Every year they love to give us that end shapeshifter promo. And then normally it is into the preseason for 25. So, with that being said, we are getting some decent evolutions now. Now, I'm not saying that all of them are absolutely must-dos, but there is so many top-end players and very good players that maybe otherwise could be a little bit expensive. And the first one we're going to look at is Dembélé. Now, this is in the ultimate attack. Now, there is only so many left as well that are going to be gone soon. So I've tried to really narrow down what we've got left for the evolution. So for instance, if we was to go over to the evolutions tab, we have got unlock within 2 days for the ultimate team of the season glow up. We've got 3 days. This is unlock within. So you can basically say, for instance, with the glow up, I can go and put Powell in right now. And then I've got 9 days left. Once that 2 days is gone, I'll have 7 days to complete the actual evolution as well. So you can, as long as you've got the player in, you've got until the expiry date rather than the unlock with. I don't know why they do that. I don't know. There might be a bug that you could expose otherwise than that. But there's pretty much all of them. You've got 2 days for this one, 3 days to unlock, 4, 9, 9, all of them are 9, 10, 11, 16, 16, 17, and 18. Now, the only thing I'm kind of half and half with evolutions is not being able to do 2 at a time. With the amount of Copa America attackers, Copa America midfielders, and same with the Euro attackers, I don't understand why we can't do 2. They've given us 4 evolutions in the space of a Friday, and all of them have like 12 to 15 games each. Fair enough. They don't want everybody absolutely blitzing through all 4 in one session, 12 games done. That's understandable, but these are not absolutely over-the-top meta players. They are decent, very good players, but they're not necessarily going to take out your Mbappe if you've got him. So I don't see the point in that. I kind of wish that you could at least do 2 at the same time. It would just cut the game time down, because then you throw in the rest of them and you're looking at 18 games here for an evolution, 10 games, 5 games, 15. You're looking at like a 60, 70 game week to get all of the evolutions done. And it just kind of is what it is. That's fair enough, but 2 of them wouldn't be a problem right now. So going back onto the main article, we've got Dembélé. Now, obviously with Dembélé, we've got the 96, and if we was to look at the major difference between this version and obviously the evolution, we're looking at the big physical increase. Shooting's obviously had a nice increase, but we've already got the 99 pace. He's got the rapid, the power shot, the technical. Alongside that, he's already a 5.5, so that's always perfect. So all you need is a little bit of shooting. You could easily go with a finisher and max out as much balance as you can. You could go with a Deadeye to just give you a little bit more pace. You could even go with, it's not Hawk, would it be Marksman? Where on earth is Marksman? Marksman gets you a bit of physicality if you really want. There's a lot of option you can go with a chemistry style that is relatively cheap. And with the Ultimate Attacker, it is free. And you are saving yourself 2.1 million, and Dembélé plays how Dembélé has done from the 86. He's quick, he's got the 5.5, the rapid plus has stayed the whole way through, which is nice. He is well worth at a look in an investment. If you're looking for coins to improve your team, head over to lootbar.gg for the most reliable and also the best coins around. Also, they have incredible 24-hour manual customer service that you physically cannot find anywhere else. But before finishing on lootbar.gg, make sure you are using JT11 to get 8% off coupon. Once you've gone through the payment, you'll be able to get your coins within the next 24 hours, absolutely guaranteed. Also, with the code, you'll be able to get 5% more coins on every transaction. Make sure you do click the link either in the description or down in the comment section below. Now, you are going to see quite a few from this one. The Incisive Passmaster had some ballers. Genuinely, so much talent across the board, so it would be very difficult to kind of go over which one is your favorite. Neymar is always got to be in that question as well. He's already a 5.5, which is perfect. He'll get the Trickster and the Incisive, so not necessarily, well, we get the Incisive. He's not necessarily the greatest playstyle pluses, but the upgrade for him is what everybody wants. If you can't quite afford the Thunderstruck, the 93, granted the 96 is just way over everybody's budget, then obviously you can do this one for 100,000 coins. It's a very simple one. I do like it. Now, it's not necessarily the greatest choice from this one, but I think as a name perspective, that's what Evolutions kind of can be. You can kind of go for them nostalgic vibes. If you can't afford like a, what is these, probably like 7, yeah, God, I've not even looked before, I swear. 7 million coin player, and you kind of maybe don't want to go and pay 710k, maybe you're on an absolute budget. You could obviously go for the Thunderstruck, which I should imagine is a little bit cheaper if it wants to actually load for me. Even 570 to be fair, it's not necessarily the cheapest. You go buy him for 21,000, 100k for the Evolution if you really wanted to. You've got the 93. So it is a viable option that you can go for. If we then move on, we have got a few different Varanes. I've kind of tried to include a few different versions, as obviously there is multiple evolutions that people can go in. Now, this version of Varane is the FUT birthday, or the ultimate birthday, I suppose, and it has taken a nice increase. He's already got the Anticipate and the Slide Tackle, and we're just increasing it to the Incisive Plus. Now, the main kind of difference here is you get a bit more pace, defend, and physical. The Incisive Pass is just an extra. Like, it doesn't make a difference if it is him or not. You've also then got the difference between his inform going to a 95 with the Elite Quartet. Sorry, I don't know why. I said this in the Ronaldo video, or I think it was the Best Meta Choices. I don't know why I call it Quadrant. I really don't know what went through my head. I reread it and thought, I don't know. I really don't. The Quartet is obviously going to get the quadruple play style plus. He doesn't have the Slide Tackle plus on this version, so that's why there's multiple there. But he does get the Incisive again. He gets Quick Step and a long ball pass. Now, the big difference between them is going to be just the factor of pace, defending, physical. It all depends on what you want, and obviously the rating's going to be a nice one as well. That being said, if we went for the 85, it would be the 85 gold. It would be cheaper than going for the 86 naturally, but you would only get the 94 back. And now the 86 is extinct at 300, whereas I can imagine he's just 5.4. It's fair enough. So in that argument, I'd probably be looking more towards the 94. Granted, the 90 is still coming in at 758, so I could understand if you wanted a Varane, then just going for the 85 is still not an issue. He's still a very, very good centre-back. Now, one that I've personally done from the Elite Quartet, we'll get over it, 95 Ronaldo. I mean, it's 95 Ronaldo, and he is just an absolute diamond to go for. When it comes to his team of the season, he's expensive, as you can imagine. And also, what hasn't helped is the Euro throwback objective, where you've got to basically score with the best player in the Euros at the moment, or over the past kind of like decade, it seems. You've got to use a specific version of Ronaldo. And if we go and check, maxed out price, maxed out price, maxed out price, nearly maxed out price, but you're spending a bit more. And obviously the team of the season, which is fair enough. You're not going to max that out at 7.2 for an objective. But all of the small versions are going to be completely extinct, which does mean that the 86 is going to be that little bit harder to get to turn him into a 95. Now, I was lucky that I got Ronaldo packed prior to this evolution. I normally keep a Messi, a Ronaldo, a Neymar in the club just in case something comes out like this. Now, don't get me wrong, when we look at the difference between the team of the season and this version, considerable amount of more pace. Shooting I'm quite happy with, same as passing as a free. Defending don't care about. Physical's a nice upgrade, and you've got a decent amount of dribbling as well. You are getting technically more composure, but the big factor for him is that 22 balance. That is a massive thing to be losing out on. So you can see the difference, and this is why when I say that you should be doing these evolutions, they are well worth doing, but don't get it twisted that if you can afford the 96 Ronaldo, then it might be worth going for him, just because you are getting some benefit there. Some stats definitely are the other way around, and the evolution just seems better in every single way. You obviously get a 5.5 with this Ronaldo, and you can get a little bit more balance back. You could go with the engine, it gets you a +8. He doesn't need any more shooting, so that's absolutely fine. There's many different ways to go around it. Obviously, everybody's going to go with that engine just to make him as up there with that agility balance as well. Moving into another centre-back in Bisseck. Beautiful centre-back. Loved his 93. His 93 is absolutely stunning. And as you can see, we have got the Future Star, which was completely just discard pretty much when he first came out, and now is extinct at 45. So if you did hold on to him and then got to do the cheeky German glory, you're looking at yourself a very, very good centre-back. We know full well how good this card can be. You can obviously put him into the Supreme Defender as well if you wanted, and there is the two different versions you can go for. If you went for the 86 into the Incisive Passer, you could then go ahead and put him into the Supreme Defender after as well. So it's just a nice little extra boost if you really wanted to. I don't know if... what can the 87 go into? I think that is going to be, yeah, the Supreme Defender as well, but it's going to go for the Incisive Passmaster to then make him a 95 instead. The only thing that you're getting with these Bissecks that is different to his team of the season is the fact you're not really getting what everybody likes as a defensive playstyle plus. So always be wary with that one. When you look at the 93, he's not necessarily crazy expensive. He's 570. I think that most definitely is well in the budget for how good he truly is. You have obviously got the live team of the season upgrade he could have gone into, and if you were so lucky to get the red, you could have made him into a 96, which is just stunning because you had the Champions Corner. If you managed to get Bisseck on day one, you could have put him into the 93 to make him a 94, the first one, the second one a 94 into a 95, and then the third one could have turned him into a 95 into a 96. Now it's not necessarily going to raise the stats crazy amounts, but having a 96 Bisseck is always that flexing factor that you've always wanted. And then obviously we've got the Supreme one here. I think he's a good centre-back. I personally would be looking at the 93 if I could, but if you can't afford the price of 570, the German glory is going to be more than enough if you really wanted to. We obviously have got the Euro attackers as well. This is the Euro attacker 1 or 2, it doesn't matter, but Elise was number 1 on that list every single time. Was absolutely stunning. The only problem with him, and it's kind of not his fault, is the moment he came out, the very next day, we got somebody called Barcola. Now, it's just a shame because both of them are exceptional wingers. Now, you can put Barcola on the left, which is always nice, so you could go with both. And the one thing Elise does have that Barcola doesn't is that 5-5, so it's a good factor there. He has the technical, Barcola does as well. We have the power shot versus the rapid, and also the Trivela versus the whipped pass. So with Elise, for me, what I found, because I've done both of them, is the fact that obviously with Elise, he's kind of more shooting orientated. Barcola is unbelievable on that left stick dribble. Now, I'm not saying Elise... Barcola's good dribbling. I'm not saying Elise is bad dribbling, but Barcola with that rapid plus down the wing has been exceptional for me. Now, they both play off each other. I kind of sub one on for the other. They're my right wings at the moment. They're absolutely crazy. I think both of them were well worth doing. The only big factor that we have that Barcola has as a little bit of an advantage is the fact that he can still go up. The path to glory, unfortunately, will eventually overshadow Elise because France, let's be real, are going to go quite far in this. If then we go on to the next one, we have Ginola, who has literally just completely stopped since we've got him in the Galazzo. You could make him into a 94 from the 90 in the triple threat. Now, in terms of pricing, we are looking at a whopping extinct at 1.3. So that's not the reason why I kind of wanted to. I didn't realize he was extinct. But the big factor with this card is there was an SBC for him. So if you did so happen to have the foresight to finish that Ginola SBC before it went, you could potentially get yourself 100k down the road, a 94 Ginola, which is the perfect point I've always said from the get-go with these evolutions is it might not be the right now evolution. It might not be the SBC is phenomenal straight off the bat. Give it 3 months. Maybe you could put him into something. Lucio could be a big factor later on in the game. Virgil has definitely been a big factor in the game. When you look at these cards and think, okay, they've been really good for me now and they've slowly came out of the progression, you know there's an evolutions waiting for them later on down the line if you really like that player. I'm not saying he's the best left wing, the best striker, the best cam, or even the best person for this incisive pass master. But the fact that he's got an SBC, that means if you put at 500 points on 100k coins, you could upgrade that SBC. You've already invested 1.5 million. You've got a nice little refresh of a Ginola. It's just an interesting one. So let me know down below if you actually did complete Ginola. I'm just interested because I didn't think he was worth it then. Maybe a little bit more now, but even so, you wait to see who else is in this incisive pass. We then have the Euro midfielder, which came out this Friday. Cherki was always an option. Now he does have a 94 already, which has got some better stats. It's mainly the defending that's gone up on this version, but he has got more pace, more shooting, more passing, less dribbling, and less physical. But he also is still the 5-5, which is just perfect. Now the big difference we're going to have between the two cards is obviously technical, trickster, and incisive versus trickster. I know we already had that one, and then it was quick step and also first touch. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad one whatsoever. You've obviously got multiple you can put him into, because for some reason you can put him in the attackers as well. So if you had more midfielders that you wanted to do rather than the attackers, maybe you've took one attacker for Elise but still wanted another midfielder, you can obviously put that in the attacker as well if you really wanted to. But I think for what he is, 99 on that dribbling, 91 pace, you've already got some decent passing. You go with something like a Hunter, 97, 93, you're looking at a 94 cam for absolutely nothing. They've even given you the 87 to put in. With obviously the German, this one's the German Glory Free. You've obviously got the two different things you can do with him, which I think is really cool. You go from the gold card into the German Glory Free into then a Euro attacker, because that is something you can do. Very nice if you figured that one out first. And you can get a 95 Mukhtar, which is going to be 98 pace, again a 5-5, slide tackle plus, is what it is. It's coming from the German Glory Free, which I suppose is the reason why a lot of people wouldn't have gone for an attacker in this. But he then has the technical and the power shot on top. So who knows? I mean, it's a very decent card if you are looking for it. You can obviously go with something like a Deadeye. I mean, for a free card for both of them, yeah, both of the evolutions, you've got a 97 cam or centre forward, or a 96 winger. I mean, if you're building a German team, it's definitely not the worst you could go for. We then move in to Musiala. We've got another one for the Elite Quartet, who is a very, very good option. Now, I think you've got a couple of them, because you've got Musiala, and then you've got, if I can think who's in there, that's not the one. No. Valverde, no. Pretty sure there was one more. Virgil, no. Is it Ballack? No, that's German Glory. That's nice. Ah, there he is, Zambrotta. So, you have got the difference between a Musiala, you've got a Jude Bellingham, and you've also got a Zambrotta. Now, in the evolutions, if it was to go into it, I don't know why I just didn't do this, to be honest, you've got a decent amount of cards that you can go for. And to me, I went with Ronaldo. But the biggest thing that you can go for when we look at the likes of a Jude Bellingham, it is going to be for the fact that we can't afford the team of the season yet. He's 3 million coins. Now, obviously, with a Jude Bellingham team of the season, more than likely we see a 99 during footies at the absolute minimum, and this price will be absolutely on the floor. So there isn't much time to wait. But if you are wanting a Bellingham card for 200,000 coins, or the, was it 500 points or something like that? Or was it 100? 500 points or 200,000 coins. You're looking at a decent version. It's not necessarily the level, but it's not that far off that I'm like, okay, I can't use this card at all. He's kind of coming in more towards better than the 89, but a little bit less than the 96. Bellingham, even from the gold when I started the game, was exceptional. He has the relentless, he'll then have incisive, he'll have long ball pass and quick step. If you know anything about Bellingham, carrying the ball with him is just beautiful. You'd obviously go for something like a Hunter, or if you wanted him more box to box with more defensive, you'd be looking more towards the Shadow. Or if you wanted him on the controlled lengthy, then you could go with a Sniper Architect. But I'd probably be looking at, I'd say Shadow or Hunter for me. If I was going for something, I'd probably be looking more towards the Hunter, as I do like him as that attacking threat. And again, it's just a big number in the field. A 95 Bellingham. If you've not got the team of the year or the team of the season, it's the highest rated Bellingham you can get. And you've got to have a little bit more fun with the game. When we look at the rest of them, though, you've obviously got Baka, decent shout as a left back, but there's a better option coming up soon. And Kunku's definitely not a bad shout. I think do I have him in here? I don't even know if I have him in here, to be honest. But again, definitely not a bad shout in himself. Robbo, I'm very surprised we've not seen anything. I'd have thought a Path to Glory would have been perfect for him. Scottish captain in a really difficult group. So would have been nice to put him at a high rated just to get him in there. Whether we see a make your mark, but I don't see that happening. So it is a shame that he's not really had anything since Trailblazer. it's been a long time since then. And it's the same with Musiala when it comes to the difference of his team of the season or this one. The only difference is with Musiala compared to Bellingham is it's only 250 to begin with. So it's not necessarily a break your bank sort of card anyway. But it might be nice if you want the evolutions for whatever reason. And the biggest thing that I really don't like with the evolutions, especially when you use their base, is only having that dynamic. I really, really want a dynamic that I can choose, or they just change it to, if you evolve somebody, they have a generic dynamic, unless you're using a dynamic card already. I don't know, there's a lot of things there. I kind of wish you could just have, like, the skin of the card you could change, and same with the person. So I could put the 95 in the skin of the team of the season, say, but then I could change the dynamic to any one of these. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't be too difficult to do, but it is what it is. Casemiro being another great option for the midfielders. One of my favourites out of the 5 or 4 of them that you could do. When we look at them, obviously you can put the attackers in as well. But we've got the 3 midfielders. You've got Lozano. You've got Icardi. Is this the... Yeah, this is the midfielders. I think Casemiro is the best option out of these. The pace could do with some little bit extra increase, and then obviously the 3-star skills is not going to do him any favours, but the 5-star weak foot most definitely is. You could definitely go for something like the Catalyst with him if you really wanted to. You could even go for the Engine if you wanted to get a bit more on that controlled lengthy. Could be a nice option, but even if you wanted to go mostly lengthy, people are going to go with either the Guardian or the Catalyst. What does that give you? Guardian gives you... Oh, okay, yeah, I suppose that makes sense. If you want a bit more on that dribbling, you obviously get the agility balance bonus, as well as then the 98 defending. I think he's an exceptional card if you are looking for that holding DM. He ain't going to bring the ball forward. He's not got the legs for it, but defensively is going to be absolutely incredible. So that, for me, was always the perfect option. Then we have got Bastone's lovely showdown card. Now, if you did put him in a plus, unfortunately, I think he will be too higher rated, but he does have the 94 in this Supreme Defender. Already has the anticipate and the slide tackle. Throwing on the intercept, never going to be a bad shout. Now, in terms of the 96, 715, so he's not necessarily the most expensive, but if you've already, again, done the SBC, this is going to be a perfect addition that you can go on top of it. If you are looking at him, you've got Supreme Defender or Incisive Passmaster. Definitely the Supreme Defender if you are looking for something. 225,000 or 500 points. They love the 500 points, it seems. And you can obviously go for something like an Anchor. If you wanted to just go out and out Shadow, you most definitely can, which a lot of people are going to do because he wants that maximum bonus on the 96 pace. And to be fair, his physical's already up there. And it would turn him into a 97 overall centre-back. So, love Bastone in this game. I thought the showdown was great. The team of the season blew that out the water, and then we've now got another 94. Goretzka with the German glory. We've got a few of them in here. If we kind of put them to the top, we obviously have got you and also you. We've got some great additions here. Goretzka, obviously going to be cheaper than his lovely 95, which is actually coming down in price, which is nice. But if you are looking at going for the German glory, it is a free evolution, which is nice in itself. Which one did it go from? The 86, was it? Pretty sure it was. Why does it take so long to load? 93. So you are looking at a little bit of a sub of what his 95 is. But like I say, you're looking at him for free. Like the evolution itself, you got 45k for the inform. You could even go one step further and go a little bit lower. But I would suggest definitely trying to go for that inform at the very minimum. And you can definitely get away with whatever chemistry style you want, to be honest. People are obviously going to go Shadow because you want the pace, you want the defending maxed out. Would turn him into a 94 DM anyway. The 4-4, the decent stats across the board is always a nice option. Now, one that I was surprised at is Ballack, to be fair to him. He goes into the 94, and stat-wise, it's pretty up there. Like, you've got the 96 here, which still has... No, I think he got both, didn't he? Germany won 5-1, so he got both upgrades. So this is the maximum amount of Ballack we can get. To say that German glory is that close to him, granted, doesn't have the triple or the quadruple playstyle plus, and most definitely there is an increase in stats on the Ballack. You're looking at 724,000 compared to literally 130k and then a free German evolution. It's one that I didn't expect to be so good, but The German glory, if you didn't get the chance to do the Havertz in the previous evolution, which was just before Team of the Season and just before his SBC, well, welcome back to the German glory free. Oh, German glory. You've got the 94 Havertz back. He is exceptional in that left back role, and this just takes him that one next level up again. He's a 94 that you can go for. You could have gone the incisive pass master if you want, but the 94 German is going to be incredible. For this SBC, he has had multiple chances of evolutions, and I do think this one's really a nice one. And especially, I like the Euro card designs. I think they've been pretty successful since now, and especially because some of them without the players when they get leaked look very mixed matched with colours. I must admit I'm a big fan of this one. I think it really pops, and especially with Havertz, he's an easy option that you could go for. And to be fair, in terms of the German players you could actually put in that don't either have a better card or a cheaper card at the same time, he's definitely coming in as one of the better ones. Like Havertz is a yes. Undav's now got a better one. Gosens I'm not really doing. Wirtz has a much better one. Musiala has a better one. Tony Kroos could be not terrible, but the pace is going to kill him. Ballack's very good. You've even got a cheeky Bisseck if you really wanted to. But I do think it all comes back down to Havertz for me if you have done that evolution. Now we have got some absolute ballers from the incisive pass master. We have got Messi. We have got Hullet. We have got Valverde. And I think Supreme Defender. That is it, because the Incisive Pass Master had so many top end cards that you could put in. It literally maxed out the price of Hullet to literally 1.4 mil. Now we've finally got him back on the market. You can now look at him at 700 and then go and make him into a 94 as well. Now, alongside that, you are obviously getting a 4.5 rather than a 5.5 compared to his 94. But when we do look at that card, he has 5.2 million coins, which is just nuts in itself. So it's a big factor that you can make a base version that you could have packed ages ago. Maybe you took him out of your team, he's in your club, you don't put Hullet into an SBC. You could now go ahead for 100,000 coins and whack him into a 94 that makes him very similar. The 5.5 is going to be a big factor for him. He's got the power header still, and he gets incisive pass. Whether we see something else that is going to be more playstyle plus orientated, so he could go into another evolution that gives him an extra 2 playstyle pluses rather than an upgrade, I can see that coming in footies as well, which is going to be perfect. You can just see it a mile off with players that have got 2, 3, 1 playstyle plus, but are like 95 rated. They're not going to go up anymore. They're not going to make a crazy amount of 99 footies. They'll make a few, but for the ones that are nearly there, they might do that, which I think is another great option they could go for. And if you've already got him in the club, 100k is absolutely nothing for it. Messi is always Messi as well. He's going to be a 4.5. He isn't necessarily going to be really anywhere near the 97, which is fair enough because obviously the 97 is absolute top of the top and is also 2.7 mil. But for the price of 27,000 coins, if you wanted a Messi in your team and you need him to be that little bit better, then you can obviously look at this one. People are obviously going to go with a Hunter, which I think is self-explanatory, more pace, more shooting, but it's Messi. Dribbling-wise, he's still absolutely king of it. The composure's there, the dribbling's there, the agility balance is there. It's always Messi. And I do think Valverde most definitely is coming in as a very good card as well. The only thing now is at the moment, Valverde has dropped massively in price, down to 458 with all of these box-to-box cards we've got. It's just a natural progression for him, and I do really like the team of the season in comparison to the evolution version of him. If we've also got a Mohamed Salah 94, we haven't really seen too much of him since team of the season, and to be fair, I'm surprised because we've got a card every promo, it seems. Like, genuinely, you've got the gold, 3 informs, you've then obviously got the Trailblazer, the Player of the Month, the Winter Wildcard, the Honourable, 392s. You then gone back to back with the 294s of the either 5.4 or the 4.5 into the team of the season, and then more than likely into the footies or shapeshifter as we get into the end promos. He has had another absolutely sensational kind of campaign on FIFA. He genuinely just gets so many cards, it's unbelievable. I was kind of hoping the generational would have come up by now. What we'll do is we'll stick this over here and just see if it actually does help for me, because I was going to show you how many cards he's got in previous years, but for some reason It is broken, which is lovely. So, again, another great option. I don't think he's number one. Hullet would definitely be the shout for me if you've already got him. I don't know if I'd go and buy a high-rated player like that, like he's 700,000 coins. That's a lot to put into an SBC, into an evolution that you can't get back. But if you've already got him, that's going to be the one well worth doing. And like I said with Salah, they've taken away a lot of pages, which is annoying. I kind of like to go back. But even FIFA 22, an unheard of amount of cards. FIFA 23 was a little bit more tame. And then this year he's gone back to back with the most amount of cards I have actually seen with a Salah. We have another option for the Euro attackers in Sterling. Now with Sterling, he's not necessarily my number one shout. But with all of the extra upgrades that we've been getting, from Barcola taking over Elise's spot, the strikers we've had, the midfielders we've had, I thought Sterling could have been a safe shout, especially if you was wanting to do, I know it's past it, but he was a great shout to do if you wanted to do that England champs. Then obviously that was going to be the easiest option you could go for if you don't already have a quality left or right wing in the English nation. So it's just an extra thought there if you went for something that potentially is more towards maybe another kind of objective like that. I don't know if they're going to do one, but if they were to do like a France or something, or an Argentina for Copa America, that could be a shout that you go for with the Copa Americas, and you try and pick that specific nation. And I do think when it looks to, you got Elise, Adeyemi, Sterling, and then Cherki, that would be my votes. Maddison isn't bad as well, but there has been a lot of good midfielders that you can get in England. Richarlison being the Copa attacker, I wasn't really too much sold with the attackers, because obviously we got a Carde who already has a 95, which is better and pretty much as cheap. Lozano's a nice one as a second one if you were just throwing it in there, but Richarlison would be the one that I'd be looking at the most, even though I think even then, striking ability wise, is only ever been decent on the game. It's not been at the next level, so I thought he was always a good option to go for to try him out again, and he wasn't necessarily the worst shout, he was just the only shout. And then finally, if you wanted to look at a cheeky Virgil van Dijk, this is going to be from the 91, which is going to be a little bit more expensive at 999. But you could obviously go for either the 90 if you wanted for 380. You could even go for the free Euros card if you really wanted to, and just make him that little bit on the lower side of overall, but it still absolutely works. So there is multiple ways of evolving Virgil, and if you really wanted to go for just the generic gold, then that is possible as well. It would just make him into a 93. That is because Virgil's body type, you could play with the gold and still probably get by. So just adding a little bit of extra is going to be really nice for him. If you can obviously get the make your mark, then naturally go for that one. I don't think that's too much of a question. Team of the season is still incredible. Team of the year. And to be fair, even the informs, you could definitely get away with. Now that is going to be all of the evolutions I think is worth looking at for right now. We will get some more, and I will do an update once we have got a new fresh batch of evolutions, and maybe hit that one more big $ one where we could see like another higher rated name, or even throw in a cheeky gold Mbappe. But apart from that, make sure you like and subscribe and let me know your favorite evolution. Peace.